Welcome to your November 17th Monday Power Hour meeting with Katelyn, Carly, and Clare Fulton. Please tell us how open houses were this weekend. I want to hear how busy you guys all were. Steve.
We had 3 people on Saturday, Rochelle.
3 people Saturday. Rochelle hosted it.
Yep.
Nice. Good. Whereabouts?
Condo townhouse at Victoria Park and Lawrence area.
Okay. Condo Town. That was on Saturday or?
Saturday.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Brand new listing or not new?
No, there was brand new listing at this price, but we've been reducing.
Okay. That's still interesting though. So it's not new listing, but new price. So fresh eyes. That's good.
Michael did one for me and Ajax. Only 2 people through.
It's better than 0.
Exactly. We did a price reduction last week.
You did?
With 6 more showings.
In Ajax?
Yeah.
This condo town?
It's a detached, under 800,000. I'm like shocked at how slow. I keep comparing it to our crack house that's getting so much action versus my you could.
It's not sold yet.
Change the flooring and the walls.
It's not Scarborough.
This
though.
one, yeah, Scarborough's interesting market actually.
Chatty had 13 groups and a detached bungalow.
Oh wow.
13 detached bungalow Woburn.
Scarborough.
Scarborough
bungalows.
Mm-hmm. It's good. Can you ask Chad what about his condo town? If that did anything?
Oh yeah.
I think we have 2 people left.
Mm-hmm. That's good. I think there was less open houses in general. So.
Yeah, Claire's got a scary looking chart right there. Maybe you should talk about that chart.
Claire's got all the news and stats and charts. And
Not really. I want to throw for my own.
For your own knowledge. I have
My own
mostly
knowledge.
RICO stuff because we did have our RICO audit, so I'll go through that stuff with you guys, which is exciting. But other than open houses, are people running buyers on the weekend, or what's happening with showings and stuff? Sandeep, you're running your own buyers still? Yeah. That's good.
Are you in multiple offers in anything or everything? Are they getting deals?
Yeah, 2, 3 buyers, so many showings. Received so many calls from all the listing agents yesterday after showing and everything.
Yes, that's a new trend
Buyers
now.
know that they are financially strong, so they can choose what they want.
Yeah. You're getting lots of calls from the listing agents?
Yeah.
Like for feedback?
Asking for feedback.
I was going to mention that actually today when I was talking. That's an important thing. So some of the agents were getting really upset that they're saying, what do I do when I have a listing and I'm trying to get feedback for my seller clients, but the agents aren't responding? I find that's a very common thing that agents just don't get back. I find it very unprofessional when people don't do it because we're doing it for a reason. We're trying to tell our sellers because they probably had only a couple showings, so we're just trying to get any feedback to give to the sellers. So if you guys do get calls from the listing agent, respond. Don't just ignore them. Just say they didn't like it because it smelled bad. The layout was bad. Just that bad feedback is the feedback that they're looking for so that they can relay it back to their sellers. Some of the older agents are much more aggressive for sure than the newer agents. I know there's a couple of the OG agents in the chat saying, I will keep calling them until they basically tell me to F off or until they give it to me. But there's some agents that will keep calling until you get it. And then there's some that won't even call you at all. But even as a listing agent, we should be reaching out for that feedback for your clients. I find text message is usually the best way to get them because they can respond at their own time versus we're learning in Barrie, they give feedback out there. They are very good at feedback on BrokerBay. We get at least 3 a day.
Yeah, I feel like for the agents out there, that BrokerBay message is not just another random automated message. It's an actual genuine feedback requesting message, and they respect it and they respond within a day of the showing.
The small town's very different than us. We have to chase them.
Yeah.
See, one of the calls that I received today, the agent was definitely, I don't know, I have not seen his picture, must be senior or mature. He told me, I'm sure you must have seen 4 properties and you must be confused with the pictures. Let me tell you about the property. And he described, then I could correlate.
Because you do forget.
Even in our mind, you get confused the washroom and bedroom and what.
Of course. And now you're not just asking for feedback, you're trying to sell the property.
Clear that this is what I know, these are the changes you will have to do.
Yeah.
And then it was easy for me to correlate and then.
Yeah. Yeah, so sometimes it's like good if you can put the link if you guys are texting, be like, hey, do you have feedback on this property? Here's the link to what it looks like.
It's also why you shouldn't ask for feedback like a week or two later, because then
No,
you definitely would
you
have
definitely
forgotten by
forget.
then. It has to be sort of current, so that's
The
fresh in
day
their
of,
mind as well, right? But it's also their opportunity to try to sell that property. It's not just asking for feedback. They're trying to sell you on
Yeah.
why you should pick theirs out of the 4 that they saw that day, right?
So if you guys do get those BrokerBay things, just respond to them. It does help everybody, to be honest.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think you also have good conversations with other agents. Maybe it's not just about that house, but it's like, hey, you work in Newmarket. How is it in that area? Or you work in Durham. What's happening down there? It's kind of nice to know and talk to other people that are doing the same thing you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not just feedback saying, oh, my clients didn't like the property. Like, that's clear because you're not bringing an offer. But if you could say why, because there could be things that the seller could change about the house, or it could be it's on a main road and you can't change that. So, like, that's just good feedback for the sellers overall.
Yeah. I agree.
So just have to remember too, when you're talking to your clients, knowing that a lot of people don't respond to the showings.
Yes.
During your listing presentation, you have to make it clear that you're going to follow up on these people, but a lot of people don't get back to you. And if they don't get back to you, the reason why they didn't get back to you is because they don't like the property.
Yeah, usually no feedback is the feedback.
Right?
It's just nice to have something.
But don't be defensive. I mean, if
No.
you cover yourself in the very beginning and the guy doesn't get back to you, your agent gets all mad. How come the agent get back to you? So this is what I mentioned to you before. They're not, this is
This is
what's going
normal.
on. Basically, they're telling you that they're not into you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just not that into you.
Wasn't there a movie about that?
Yeah, he's just not that into
It's
you.
true.
You as a buyer's agent, though, at the same time, you might want to have a reputation. We talked about a story last week where some agent described the property, and the owner of the property had cameras inside the house, listened to the conversation, and when the listing expired, the seller got a hold of that agent because that agent tried to sell the property. So by responding to these things and the seller seeing you responding, there could be some other benefits in the future.
Yep.
All right? So that makes sense.
Yeah, it's true. So what's happening in the world of stats?
I don't know. So you guys tell me, what's going on in the market out there? Is it busy but not busy? Slow? What's happening?
It feels quiet.
Slow? Is it slow? And is it slow? Why is it slow?
I feel busy.
You feel busy and then
I'm
Sandy
seeing
feels
some
busy?
agents are busy and some are like not. So and there's no correlation to why.
Okay.
It's very different.
So, and the open houses you said, was it not busy or busy? No.
We only had 2 at ours, which I honestly thought
Yeah.
that was pretty good considering the showings have been slow, but
Yeah, oh well. A lot of agents also, you guys have a whole bunch of listings, got a whole whack of listings, and the list to sales ratio right now is going to come in around 5.8 to 1, meaning it's going to be like almost 5 listings for every 1 sale. So, unfortunately, in your case, that never doesn't really make any sense, because you have a listing, you don't care whether it's 5 to 1 or not, you want your property sold.
You
right?
want what we have.
So you got to make sure yours go. You don't care about the stats. But at the same time, you can't argue with the facts. I mean, the facts, if you're not getting showings, then there's something wrong with what?
the price.
Some people might say condition or location or else. No, because the person hasn't seen the property. The guys haven't booked the appointment. They're looking at the price, looking at the property, and they've made a decision not to show the property based on not condition, not on location, just based on the price. The price doesn't match it, right?
On the other hand, if you still have lots of showings and no offers,
It's the same situation.
It's also price.
it's also price. It's
Right.
the same problem.
So you want to try to take away the emotions out of it. You've got a listing sitting there. If it's been there for 21 days or 21 showings, no offers, you got to do a price adjustment, whether it's up or down or left or right or $1 or $2 or $100,000. You got to do something, right? So you can't just let it sit there. I've looked at a bunch of the office listings. Some listings have been there like 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 days.
What are we doing?
If the seller's not motivated to sell, if the price is sitting there, they're going to get their price. If it's just sitting there, then that's another story. You got to go out there and find another client,
Yeah.
right? But don't hang on to that one client that he's going to sell. It's been there 60, 70, 80 days. There's something going on there, right?
Yeah, there's a
you
video
also-
online of somebody that said he's cutting his listings. Anyone that's not listening to him on price or not doing anything, he said goodbye. Go hire someone else. I don't need the dead weight in my business.
costs
I need
money,
other
time.
clients.
Yeah, there's all kinds of tools you can use. Depends how serious you are. I mean, Floyd Wickman always said that you go to your listing with 2 documents. One document's the price change, and the other document is the mutual release. So either one's fine with me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
no, it's true.
So we want a $100,000 price reduction, or you can sign a mutual release.
I think one of our agents did that. recently, and the client went with the cancellation.
Yeah, it's fine. You got
Which was fine, 'cause it wasn't
Because you
selling.
got to look at the motivation. There's no motivation of like, I want $1 million, and even though it's $700,000 property, I want $1 million no matter what.
You're not going to sell it anyway.
So all you're doing is just it's sucking your energy out of yourself.
And making you
So,
look bad online.
right?
You have a listing
you
sitting there
feel-
for 200
yeah, you
days.
feel bad, everything else, right? So be serious with your listings and make it very mechanical. Do your CMAs on it. Maybe do you do CMAs every week, every month on properties, like to readjust it?
I recommend every Monday at least sending the sellers what sold that week in the neighborhood or similar type of property. At least just sending them what is
Or what
sold
came
or what
on the
came on the
market.
market. Every week you should be checking what in the last 7 days what has happened. I think that has been helping get price reductions. But if you're not sending them anything and just no feedback, no nothing, then it's going to be hard to get that price reduction.
And some of the tools that you're going to use your list track, right? And you're going to show how much activity that the property's attracted on realtor.ca and any other websites. So you can show the business that you're doing there that is getting activity, which people aren't moving forward. A lot of people say to me they're waiting for the interest rates to drop or waiting for this or that. Like, for what purpose? So to expecting the prices to go up, or what would be the
The
reason?
monthly cost probably.
Monthly cost, but
They're just looking for triggers in the market, like signs of positivity. Everyone's hanging on to a little bit of hope right now, and they're just hoping that next piece of news or the next announcement is going to be the thing that like breaks it. And I just don't think that's going to
I don't think people are making financial decisions though. I think it's all lifestyle. So if there's no lifestyle change, they're not moving.
I think it's all price related too. I'm reading this article that even if a house is priced even $1 too high, it might as well be $1 million too high. Because there's just so many options, and it's just perception. Like if it's even not even relative to what they would pay, you're not going to get the showing, then you're not going to get the offer, and it's so price sensitive right now. It's so
Yeah.
critical.
So last month we had what? The sales were up or down last month? It's a test.
Yeah.
Right? Unit sales were down 9.5%. How about prices? Average price was down 7.2%, right? So if you've got a property that didn't sell last month and you didn't do any price adjustments,
You're
what are the
missing.
chances it's going to sell this month?
Hasn't the market dropped?
I think I just said that.
Yeah. And I think the point is that it's on a downward trend.
Here's my point. You've got a listing sitting there for the last 30 days, and the prices have dropped and units have dropped, but you've left your price the same. So why would you expect
Stop
next
coming
month to
up.
be any better than last month?
Because the interest rate has also
See?
dropped.
Hope. We're,
So
hang-
here
we're,
we- so
we
here
hang,
we
we're
go.
hanging,
So-
we're hanging
so-
on to
so
it.
here we go.
They
So-
expect the change.
Yeah.
Because the interest rate has dropped.
And can you guys tell me, did the interest rates do anything with the market?
I felt like it made it worse. I feel like it
I
did.
don't think it did, right? Because I think it's beyond the interest rates now. I think it's more in the economy.
I think so,
people,
too.
People are job security.
I think
that's-
I think it was good for people that already currently have mortgages, and that's about it.
But you want to get deeper into numbers. Depends what your client. Maybe your client's right brain, left brain, wherever they are. If they're left brain, then you're going to be able to show them the stats. Now, I just said the average price down 7.5%. But if I'm an apartment in Markham, condo, prices drop 9.45%. Right? If I'm a detached, say single family detached in Markham, prices drop 9.16%. If I went to Uxbridge, prices drop 0.75%. So there's all these fluxes different. So you need to understand how the market watch looks and be able to read the market watch and explain to your client what's actually happening in that neighborhood for that type of property.
And maybe they'll say, oh, well, that stat doesn't affect me. So then you might want to show them an actual house. Show them an example and how it changed over time. This is an example from Oakville, where they started at 1,549. Then they went to 1,999, 185. They were just all these different strategies. In total, the home sat on the market for 173 days, and it sold for 1.37 in that time. So almost an entire year marketing this property to only sell for 1.3.
Had they had listed it at that price, it would have sold right away.
And you save the time. So time is money now. That 173 days of carrying costs and stress and dealing with your agent and dealing with negative news, like, so either show them stats or show them actual houses. Sanik's smiling at me because he has an example as well. And it's
Yeah.
not your fault. He had a property in Brampton, started very high. You did your price reductions, was with a different agent, and he accepted an offer now.
But it was
And
less than the.
Did the listing agent call him to ream him out because he undersold for the area?
Wait, what?
Yes.
A listing agent said that you undersold it?
So the guy beside is also for sale, so he's at 1.
That's the comparable now.
We're at 1,589.
So you just, yeah.
We took it off.
Sorry, but that's the price of that house today.
Next house?
The next one is 200K over. Is higher.
But the other thing is you did get higher. You had a higher offer and the seller rejected it, and
We lost 200K.
200K difference.
Between June and November.
No, September. I'll
Sorry,
close in
yeah,
September.
true.
Yeah.
True.
So he's probably kicking himself and.
Guys, we talk about this all the time, the hindsight. Like, it's happening real time. Like,
How
there's
times
so
have you
many
said,
examples.
the first
First offer is usually the best.
First offer.
Yeah.
There's another stat I want to bring your attention to. And again, these are for agents that have listings that aren't selling, right? So price, you know price, right? But you also have showings. So this is on your BrokerBay. Has anybody gone to the stats on your BrokerBay to get an idea of what the showings look like? Mm-hmm. So something else you might want to do is like, what's the activity? Now, on this stat here, you can't see it from where you guys are, but it's got these little peaks. The little peaks are Friday, Saturday. In between this Friday and Saturday is nothing else. So if your property's not available on the Friday, Saturday, let's say there are no showings this weekend or no showings on blah, 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 those are the peak days. You want to make sure the property is available during those times. So if you've got that situation, you got to keep your eye on that too. And you can also read the future a little bit and see what do the showings look like compared to last month or the month before, and see whether or not the activity's gone down. So I know the activity's gone down, but it's just you show it for the guy that's left-brained that understands stats and the way it goes. So you got your list track and you got your BrokerBay to figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So this is for stats right now for the 16th of November, which is yesterday. There's 27,291 active listings. We did 30,000 seemed to be the market at one time, but it's gone down 10% anyways, right? 15,000 are condos. Sorry, 15,000 are freeholds. 11,000 are condos. Vacants. Still about 35% of the properties are vacant that are for sale. So that tells me that there's motivation,
Some investors.
right? So 35% of the properties are highly motivated. 65% maybe not. I don't know. Anyways. Sales, unfortunately, we've got 2,500 for the first 16 days. They're actually down about 20% right now from last September, which is a big number. If you're condominium, your sales are down 27% from last November. And freeholds are down 17%. Sales over 100, sales over asking, about 16% overall. And if I project the sales for November, we're going to take us to 4,697. So it's not, it's around the $5,000 mark. Months of inventory is going to be 5.8 for everything else, for all properties. 5.1 for freeholds and 7.2 months of inventory for condos.
That is a buyer's market.
Yep.
Does anybody disagree that the condo market is a buyer's market?
You disagree?
Disagree?
I'm in two multiple.
Oh, agree.
I'm in a multiple for the other one.
So there is still something to be said about the quality of the inventory. So as an example, we went to a 263 Wellington yesterday. There's two listings. One's gorgeous, top of the line renovated, like super nice. The other one didn't even compare. Totally different price points. But that nice one, I think, is going to have, is that the one that has multiples right now? The nice one. So I think I have some articles too about the finishes and how you present that unit. We walked in, the lights were turned on, it was staged beautifully. The other one was vacant, lights were off, it was just not as nice. So I think the condo market, that's nice, good square foot, 2-bedroom, they're still doing kind of okay.
Well, too.
Yeah,
Even more than 2 clients.
yeah, so
Well,
So is the property vacant, this one?
no, the owner's in it.
So he left the lights on and left?
Yeah.
So is that something you can tell your clients too? Like leave the lights on during showings?
this is a Jerry Tadman rule. We learned it, and it made a. Didn't you feel a difference yesterday walking into those two units? We walked into the one. I was like, oh my god! I got my video out right away. I was like, the other one, we'd go in, turn on all the lights, and it was just not the same experience at all. But different price
Same
points for
layout.
sure.
Same
Same
layout.
exact layout. Yeah. So it matters.
Condos?
Both condos, same building, yeah. Same layout.
I was in multiples with Bridaltown yesterday.
Did you get it?
No. Closing date.
But again, that's a 3-bedroom. How over 1,000 square feet?
Yeah, 14 numbers.
Yeah. So Interesting.
So sales compared to October 16th are minus 18%. So again, we're down 20%. Leases themselves, we got almost 20,000 active leases, pretty much 10-10, vacant 57%. Leases are actually up 4%, and leases for condominiums are actually up 6%.
Yep. Makes sense.
So what are people doing? So are people, are they renting rather than buying?
Yes.
Does that seem to be the trend right now?
I think everyone's back to work downtown, especially our younger people, but they're renting. They don't want to own a condo. It's too
Did
expensive.
the Ontario government and federal government mandate people back to work already, or it was just talking? Have they actually done it? Does anyone know any clients have actually had to go downtown now to work?
I know from banks they're back at work already.
You know,
You're saying-
people are actually got.
Yeah, 4 days, 4 5 days.
And it's the downtown traffic. Anybody know with downtown traffic any different? It is. No, it's always been bad. I know it's, but
Yeah.
but has it been bad since the government sort of wanted everybody to go back to work?
I feel like it's gotten worse.
It does
gone.
feel-
They're also
Okay,
doing
so-
construction and stuff
Oh,
too.
so that's good too then. Okay, so that means there's activity then. That means that people are coming back. So
yeah,
that's
but even the average condo price is still like $650, isn't it? That's still quite a bit.
We went to restaurants yesterday, and it felt pretty lively on a Sunday night.
Actually, I was surprised for a Sunday night that downtown was quite busy and restaurants were open. Yeah. Yeah.
The shop owners in the good downtown TD Tower are the subway underground. Also.
Oh, the path.
Yeah, so I spoke to a couple of, they had Tim Horton franchisee. They say now we are very busy.
Okay, good.
Oh,
They
good.
got their staff.
Yeah.
So the path
That's
is
good.
starting to get busy now too. So that's
Okay,
good
good.
news then. Okay, good.
'Cause that's just commuters shopping there for the most
I
part.
asked my friend who is with Metrolink, so he says our revenue in terms of numbers. That's what they can buses, and CDP, Metrolink. So because all these days, only 1 or 2 days people used to go. Now there is a rush.
Okay, so those people at home, what are being told here is that people are starting to go to the path. People have businesses. We have clients that have businesses down there, and they're starting to get busy again for 4 to 5 days. So that's good news. No? Okay. Very good.
So they're spending
I
money
wonder if that's why
shopping,
so I
not
wonder if
housing.
that's rentals have gone up. I wonder if that's some of the rentals.
I think so.
Okay. Next.
I was just going to say, because there is more rentals, this is for anyone that's still investing, if there are the investors out there, because it is a good time, even though I know that they're not really out and about. But things to look for in your rental properties, it's sort of changed over time. They did a survey to see what people were valuing in their rental properties, and it's a little bit more unique. It actually kind of surprised me a little bit of what people were valuing. We used to think it was kitchen and things like that, but this one was saying the number one thing was bathrooms. And they wanted at least 2 bathrooms. So gone are the days where you had your ensuite bathroom and that was like the one for the unit. They sort of want a powder room, somewhere for guests to go, and then they have their own bathroom. But now renters are looking for larger bathrooms than they had used to, which I was surprised to hear. Other things were to function flexibility, so layout, which is not a new thing, but making sure that the bedroom can fit a king-size bed is a requirement. So now people are over the queen size beds, they want a bedroom that can fit a full king size with proper furniture on each side. So this is why those condo units, like you just said, the 1,000 square feet, the bigger ones, this is what people are looking for, because both of those examples had 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. Lobbies, people do have some value in what the lobby looks like and making sure it's minimalist and modern, not too fancy, not too pretentious, but also like functional. But people do value what the furniture looks like and what that experience is walking through their lobby up to their unit. Parking, obviously. And then some other top features were things like balconies, private outdoor space. So not just like common shared space with like the entire building, but having your own balcony and having your own space where you could have like a dining table. Non-smoking buildings, and then this is a new one, which is probably going to come into more rules now, but non-vaping buildings. So now they're not just talking about smoking. It used to be cannabis smoking. Now there's non-vaping buildings, because that's such a trend right now with younger generation as well. So that was essential to about 40% of people looking to rent a
Are
property.
people just vaping in their units?
I don't have no idea how you would regulate that.
A vape? Yeah.
But it is a trend that's coming. So yeah, it's interesting. But
Probably not non-Airbnb building.
that didn't come up in this particular survey.
People are okay to rent in those?
It didn't come up as one of the main features that they were looking for when they were renting. Yeah, and I could kind of see that, because they're kind of like it's people like them that, like, why would you have judgment against something like that? But
I haven't
I think when you're buying, maybe
you're buying.
when you're buying, right, you don't want the Airbnb buildings, but as a renter, it didn't seem like that was a big fuss for them.
So when is the next, talk about interest rates, when's the next interest rate announcement?
Some?
Oh, right on my.
Thinking about it going up.
December 10th?
There's none in November?
No, we should.
Okay, so this morning they announced the.
Right on my birthday. Oh my gosh.
Better
I
go
was gonna say, I thought December 10th was something.
It sounds familiar. I won't be here, by the way. So. That's funny. So, but I think
Anyways, so they announced the cost of living this morning came in at 2.2%.
okay.
They're saying that the price of gasoline went down and the price of food went down.
No, the gasoline's gone up.
Gas only goes down between 7 and 9 p.m.
I'm just reading the
No,
newspaper.
it's 41. 141.
But that's between
Cheap-
7 and 9. It's 8.
Cheaper, okay, cheaper prices at the gas pumps and grocery store helped bring down inflation in October.
Yeah.
I just bought steak for like $33.
You can take it up with the Canadian press.
They mentioned that they may not drop the rates in December.
Because
Well,
of the.
somebody told me last week that they might increase the rate. So
Oh,
that's why I'm telling
gosh.
you that the inflation went down to 2.2. So I can't see them increasing it, and I can still see them doing a quarter point drop. It would not surprise me either way. It would not surprise me if they did the drop. Would not surprise me if they didn't do the drop.
Yeah.
But you
I
don't
agree.
see an increase.
Right? So, but in any case, let's assume that they're not doing the drop. Therefore, any listings you've got sitting there and the sellers are waiting for the rates to drop so they get their price is not going to happen.
No, because again, you have to go back to your 7% decline in prices as we're going. By the time you get to December, it's going to be even worse.
Yeah, but this is good news. 2.2% is good news.
Yeah, it is good.
Right? So, and they're saying because of those things, whether or not it's gas or not, I don't know. They're saying that gases fell 4.8% on a monthly basis in October as retailers switched to cheaper winter blends of gas.
Oh,
And they do that, right? There's a winter blend, there's a summer blend, right? Oh.
I'm so naive with my EV car. I had an Uber, and I guess the gas station near us was I think it was 4 cents less than where he had just filled up gas. And he's like, oh my gosh, it makes such a big difference. I could have saved $2. And I'm like, well, like people are really conscious about this right now. Like I don't think like that because I'm plugging my car in, but that $2 over time, like every 2 weeks, really builds up for people. So they're paying attention very closely. I don't have any other news, and mine's all Rico stuff. So.
So, okay, so let's keep going here.
Yeah,
if
you
want.
keep going.
So, One Bloor Street West. Anybody saw any of those? One Bloor Street West. That's that one that the guy went bankrupt and Tridel had to take it over back in December. So what Tridel's doing then? Tridel's restructuring it. So there's 350 units or something sold, right? Like pre-sold during the first builder. Now they're redeveloping it. Now they're saying here that they've gone to the court and they want to terminate 314 of the 329 existing sales. So they want to terminate anybody that bought pre-construction. They want to terminate all those agreements. The reason why they want to do that is because they've restructured the building. The building's gone from 476 units to 411 units. Why it went from that is because they got away from the 400 square foot stuff and they've gone back to the 2 and 3 bedrooms. So they had to get a whole bunch of stuff. So what these guys bought pre-construction doesn't exist anymore. So rather than picking the individuals, looks like they're going to be doing it. But they're going to give these people, they're going to give them the option, first dibs on what comes to the market. They come back in and buy again. Everybody okay?
Buy
Again at the current prices.
So
And
they
they're,
got
and
that-
Tridel says they're going to raise another $200 million by relaunching. So, and I think I mentioned to you last week or the week before how there's a builder in Innisfil that went to court and Terrion took him to court because he changed the prices. He charged everybody another $100,000. Said, look, if you want your place, it's going to cost you $100,000 more. If you don't want the place, we'll give you your money back and release it. All the owners went to court and sued the builder for doing that, and the courts threw it out and allowed the builder to do it. So there's no reason why Tridel can't do it now. There's no reason why Burl can't do it if that ever comes to that point. Right?
And I've heard mixed things. I've heard people say that they would still continue and pay the difference, which I think is crazy. But people are still, I think, because they're that hope thing
They've
again,
already
right? They're
invested.
tied into it. They
But
want to see it through.
But I wonder too. I think number One Bloor. You guys tell me if I'm wrong or not. It seems to me that One Bloor was selling for $2,000 a square foot back in
yeah.
7
So what is
years
it going to
ago.
be now?
And they wanted like $150,000 or $20,000 for a parking spot or something back then, if I remember. So they're not going to be able to sell that stuff for $2,000 a square foot today. So chances are these guys are happy to give up their 314 units and replace it with something that's going to be $1,400 or $1,500 a square foot rather than $2,000.
Or their situation's totally changed and they're just happy to get out
So
altogether.
in a lot of cases, you might think, well, geez, the guy bought 7 years ago, the prices today have doubled, he's losing all this money. No, I'm pretty sure they paid $2,000.
Yeah.
Well, it's the opposite in Whitby. I just went to the landing, and they're selling the units for minimum 150,000 less than what they were released at, and they all sold in the matter of a weekend.
Wow.
So
That was this past weekend, right?
20 units, their highest price unit was like 540, and they were giving free parking and locker.
Okay, so for those people at home there, Whitby project said Watson, where is that?
The landing, it's called.
Landing, it's at Charles.
It's like south,
Yeah, south.
like Port Whitby.
Is it Port Whitby? It's like right, it's on the other side of the marina, I guess?
Yeah. You're right. By Watson.
Watson is on the
It's
east
like
side,
around the
it's on the
Watson
west
area.
side?
It's on the west
What's
side.
the project called?
The landing.
The Landing? Okay. So you say they dropped the condo prices down to 500,000?
That's the most expensive one was 500,000.
500,000 most expensive, and they sold all the units out on the weekend. They dropped $150,000 average per unit? Is that what you're
I
saying?
think the lowest was 150,000. Some were like 250,000 less.
Some are 250 less? Okay. So I'm just curious, you probably wouldn't know, but the people that already bought, do they get a refund?
Definitely not. This building's already registered.
I was gonna say, is this unit, are these done? These are
They're
built?
done.
This is the builder's surplus. And
Yeah.
everything.
Okay, all right. So the building's already been registered, people have already closed, and the builder's trying to get rid of his excess stock
Yeah.
or his
I had
inventory?
someone who moved in there and lived and rented there for a year already. Like the
Man.
building was
Wow.
there for a while.
So some people already been there. So imagine that. So here the court lets the builder charge more, but can they charge less too?
But that's kind of no different than closing it, putting it on MLS, and taking a loss. That's
Yeah.
the building's registered and closed. That happens in the free market, right? I don't know.
Anyways, so I don't think anybody here has something at One Bloor. I don't know if we have a couple or not, but we'll see what happens with those.
On MLS, or you have to go to the builder?
No, you had to go to Hirsch. You couldn't even go to
It was through a particular launch week.
Hirsch was selling those?
Yeah.
Okay, you probably threw some furniture in it, probably did something else to make something different.
well, free parking.
Free parking.
Free
That's
parking
something
you
to
threw
get
in
away
and stuff
with.
like that.
That's
Yeah.
happening downtown too, like near the junction.
$500 a square foot for the unit. It was still,
500 square foot Whitby? Wow.
it's gotta be below cost. There's no way.
Now, we're talking about jobs, and we're talking about job security, and maybe that's affecting the economy there, but you got to make sure that we're not being dealt by headlines. And the only reason why I'm telling you this is you can discuss it with your clients and see what's going on. If you read the headlines, you think that the new buildings, like buildings, is in what, destroyed, like the construction business?
Dead, tragic, all these negative words.
Dead traffic and so on and so forth. And what this article here is saying, the truth about condo cancellations, what they're saying here, yes, there's 10 condos that were canceled in the past quarter, 2,500 units were discontinued. But in some cases, what's happening here, yes, they're continuing them, but they're still building the building. They're converting them from condominiums to purpose-built rentals.
Mm-hmm.
So the construction is still there. It's still building things. It's just they're not building condos. But the headlines was say condos, but they're still building stuff. For instance, new starts in Toronto in January of 2024 was 48,000 new housing starts. Now they dig the ground, they start, right? Could be detached houses, towns, condos, whatever. It's 48,000 in 2024. In January it's 29,000. So that's a big drop. In April, it was 37 and 28. In May, it was 54 and 42. But in September, it was 20,000 and 24 starts, and there's 43,000 in 25 starts. So it's actually coming back. Not necessarily in the condo market, but in other construction of purpose-built rentals. My point is that there's jobs. That's the whole thing. So jobs seems to be the issue is going on right now. Interest rates with jobs themselves, so people are back to work. So we're starting to see you're starting to see some things come around now.
I think it was always normal for projects to close. It's not a new trend. I think just the market has been flowing in what was working. So investors sort of dominated the market because they were buying cookie cutter little condo units, and I was working for 5 units. The whole market was fueled by all these investors buying tons and tons of condos. That's not working today. So now they're pivoting and they're adapting. They're going to build rentals. Maybe they'll start to build more generational style homes as well to let people get into that single family house, right? So they're just going to adapt. Unfortunately, that's going to take time. That's not done overnight, but that is the positive thing about this is you might see less of these 400 square foot condos, and you're going to see bigger condos and different houses, but it's going to take some time to adjust. But
Yeah, in this article here, they highlighted one particular unit. It was a 267 square foot condominium.
and at a time, somebody would have been lining up to buy that. You guys would have been begging me for a worksheet for one of these things.
And what the article is saying here is the only reason why the builder built a 267 square foot condominium was to attract an investor. These things were all sold to investors, no end users here.
And even
So-
tenants don't want this product anymore. That's why I was
That's
telling you
right.
about what tenants want, because they also don't want to live in 300 square feet.
That's what the article's saying too.
Yeah.
Now they'd rather get a condominium that is under rent control. So it was built before
2018.
November 2018, and they're usually bigger units
Yep.
and probably better locations.
Probably have parking and a locker in some cases. Like it's probably a decent, and that's
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but anyways. So if you got an old condominium you're trying to sell, then or rent, it does have its advantages.
I think you can reframe almost anything you read online to be more positive, right? Like that's why I had a hard time this week printing anything news-wise, because it's very negative. And I know that's the reality of what people are dealing with right now, but we have to reframe it a little bit and come at a place of help and understand where the market is going. Like Claire said, if you have all these listings, what are we going to do to sell them? There's 27,000 listings on the market that need help to sell right now. So there's different ways you can look at it, right? Be very careful when you're reading this stuff and talking to other people who are also in a negative mindset.
And there's got to be an opportunity out there for those people that want to take it up. There's properties out there that used to be for sale. So if you're farming in an area and there's a property came up for sale in the farm area, you might want to have a look and see what the guy's doing if it expires. So.
One more stat that I did thought was interesting. New data shows that more than 35,000 households left the GTA between 2024 and 2025. But the interesting thing is only 68,000 left the region, but 50% left just the GTA. So they stayed in Ontario, they just left the GTA. And where they're going is places like Simcoe County. These are not that far, they're just outside of our
Barrie.
bubble. Hamilton, Calgary, that's like way outside, Waterloo, Greater Vancouver, so again in the suburban areas, and Niagara region. So people they're leaving, but they're just going to what's the line? You drive where you can buy, or they're just going
drive till you can afford it.
drive till you can afford. They're just going to where their budgets are
Says
going.
drive till you qualify.
Till you qualify. Yeah, that makes more sense. So yeah, people are, I don't know if your clients are leaving, but this is a good time to get your referral business back in case you do have people that are relocating. I know Sandeep's working in Ottawa, right? And we have referrals out there, so there's partners.
You're
So if
driving to
you-
Ottawa?
No, he's
Oh, okay.
referring it. He's doing it properly. It's tempting because Ottawa's not that, it's tempting, I know, but we do have referral partners. So if your people are moving outside, this is a good chance to help them.
Opportunities for Ottawa getting
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a lot of Ottawa referrals.
Yeah, so we have people that will go to any of these areas, but people are moving. They're just going, but they're staying in Ontario, so that's good. You can talk about this because this is a very point of contention for a lot of people. So reframe this.
Reframe this. Okay.
Start the
so
fight.
No, reframe
effective
it.
November 17th on your
That's today.
ORWP,
Yeah.
your health insurance plan. So when they introduced this a couple of years ago, everybody was up in arms and everybody was complaining and petitions were going around and everybody blamed Trev and blah, blah, blah. It has nothing to do with Trev, by the way. And some people got in trouble to the point where Trev is actually suing, they're suing them back for blaming Trev for making all these decisions when Trev says it's nothing to do with us at all anyway. So what are you talking about? So be careful what you talk about on social media. But the bottom line is it's here, whether you like it or not. You know, we don't like it, but here it is. So take advantage of it, right? What does it cost? It costs $54.99 per month.
There's a good way to reframe
It
that.
Yeah.
costs $1.50 a day to have health insurance.
There you go. That's another way to reframe.
That would have
Cup
pissed
of
that Uber
coffee a
driver
day.
off.
Medium-sized, a small.
Whoa, a pack of cigarettes. Yeah. Those are very expensive now. True.
2 packs of cigarettes a month. So what you can do is so what is it? $600? Whatever it is, $600. Let's say $700. Prescription drugs, $750. But I don't take any drugs. Okay, fine. Paramedical practitioners, whatever that is. It's somewhere.
These are
Right?
your massage, your naturopath, your chiro, physio.
It's $800 per year. $500 per year for medical services. So the point is, between massages or between mental health phone calls or travel insurance, you should be able to get your $700 back. And if you can't, maybe your spouse can. So maybe your spouse wants to take massages. Maybe your spouse wants to do this. So to add your spouse to the plan, which you have to do today, is how much? $35?
No, less, 26 something, I guess plus tax.
$26 a month. No, per year?
Per month.
$26 per month to have your spouse take advantage of those same things we talked about. So the fact is, do I like it? I don't like it. I think this is a lot of waste of money. People wouldn't be doing it. The insurance companies wouldn't be doing it unless it was a moneymaker for them. So it obviously is, but we're stuck, and here we are. So take advantage of it. All right?
Yep.
And for $26, and you allowed to do this once a year. Once a year, if you don't do it today, that's fine. You do it next year. Add somebody to it.
Or
Only two
You have
people?
until December 10th or something to do it, right?
Yeah.
So it's not only today.
I think it starts today.
Yeah.
And it goes till early December sometime.
And
Sorry,
it's
so November 17th to December 31st, you have the decision to make.
also though it's open enrollment period, or if a life event happens in that time, like you actually get married or divorce or something happens, you can also make changes at that time too.
I don't travel. Can you get travel insurance if you're over 70?
From a private insurer.
Most of the credit cards cover it,
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you're over 70?
TVs are.
Yeah, lots of you can do private insurance too.
Geez.
Yeah, his mom does it too.
But we do Costco.
Good old Costco.
Good old Costco, huh? Anyway, so I know some people got stirred up again on the weekend about the whole thing there, how it's not fair and write petitions, blah, blah, blah. But again, this is old news. We did this 2 years ago, right? So I can't see them changing it now. I think that, yeah. I agree with you 100%. I don't like these things myself. I think it's, you're all independent contractors. We're not government employees, but it is what it is. So there we go.
Yep.
Did anyone vote for the TREB director this week?
And that's right. So by the way, the polls close at 12 o'clock for the elections for your next board of directors. So I'm not sure if anybody got involved with that or not.
I sent out a note, but
I voted for the leading escrow.
nice.
Good.
As long as you vote, that's the main thing, right? Pay attention. We'll see how many votes they actually get out of 74,000.
How do you know she's good? You watched
I
her?
watched all the videos.
Okay.
You did?
Yeah.
Good
Wow.
for you. The compliance's husband right there.
All last night though.
What? I'm just going to talk about our RICO audit. So.
Okay, well, you want to talk about the FinTrack audit too?
Sure. That hasn't happened yet, but yeah.
Okay, we'll do this first.
You want to talk about your stuff?
Okay, you can go through RICO stuff.
Okay, I'll just tell you about the RICO audit because we had our own RICO audit. Did you guys also coincidentally see the 60-page report that they came out with the iPro stuff? They also announced that the same day we got our results of the audit. So that made my audit conversation a lot easier. But they just revealed all the ins and outs of what happened with iPro and RICO. At the same time, the Ontario government sent them a letter giving them 15 days to respond. So they released this report in a response to that. I don't agree with everything that the auditor is recommending to them. Like some things about how they want to have a leverage of revenue for brokerages of how to determine who to audit, which I don't think is fair. I think all brokerages should be audited. I don't think it depends on the amount of revenue that the brokerage has. But that'll be interesting what RICO responds with. But we had our own RICO audit, coincidentally. So we passed the financial part of it. And then there's a couple of things with paperwork that they noted. So not a big deal, but just some things to write. And Claire has a bit of a different opinion, I think, as well. But I'm just going to read it as what RICO wants. And, you know, it is what it is. So BRAs, they spent a lot of time looking at tenant reps and buyer representation agreements. For some reason, sometimes we don't have those on file. I don't know if it's because you're doing it the proper way and maybe doing it right when you get the client. And then when the deal happens, sometimes we only get that deal paperwork. So we have to go back and get the tenant rep or the buyer rep. But they were really focused on making sure it was filled out and that the Schedule A's aren't supposed to be left blank. So when Tressa came, they added a Schedule A to your buyer rep and your tenant rep agreement. It can't be left blank. We're not in the position that you have to fill it in with all the services you're going to provide. We feel like the agreement itself contains that, but you could put NA or put a line through it. Just don't leave it completely blank. And that's the same with your listing agreements. Same thing. There's a Schedule A attached to that. So we usually put something simple that says the listing agreement agrees to provide professional photography. That's, a bare minimum. NA or a line would also suffice. But contract law, if you've got your Schedule A included on page 1, you can't really have a blank schedule. Claire thinks a little different. You're not so fussed about it, but I'm just telling you what Rico let us know. And then on the BRA, there's a new bubble on the first page that came into play.
Just go back for a little bit.
Yeah.
On your BRA, what would you put on Schedule A? I know on a listing agreement, what would you put? On a BRA, what would you put as a Schedule A?
We'll book showing, show houses, and draft offers.
One of the recommendations is I'll
Negotiate.
show you properties that fit within the budget that we outlined together, for example. They're very,
Do with commission back, might be listed.
could be a
Yeah.
cashback thing, yeah.
If they tell.
Something in writing, not that we.
I don't want to say anything about that, but if somebody says that are you gonna give me $1,000 back to fix that doorbell or something there, it has to be on the Schedule A, right?
That's usually.
Not really, because that's during
That's,
negotiation.
Yeah,
that's
that's
after, 'cause this is when
negotiations.
you're pre-representing them.
Some people will say, well, if you buy through me and I get 2.5%, I'll pay for $1,000 towards legal fees.
Yeah,
So that's
that
not
would be a
worth
good example.
anywhere, and for people who don't trust each other, then
Yep.
you can say, there, that would be something to put there.
Yep,
That's good, not on Schedule
yeah.
B. Is it on Schedule A?
Yeah.
Schedule A.
Yeah, we're talking
On the
we're talking about
BRA.
Schedule A, right? So
Not on the offer on the
Yeah,
BRA.
this is for representation agreements or listing agreements. Tressa added a Schedule A to the end of it, and by habit, we've been leaving it blank, right? We do too, so they just want something filled in there.
But on your listing agreement, let's say you're taking a listing agreement, you could put in there saying that the seller agrees to pay for the staging of this property, and the agent agrees to reimburse the staging upon successful closing of this transaction.
Yeah.
That has to be in writing, by the way.
Yes.
That's not an option. Anything to do with money, anything giving money, taking money, guaranteeing money, anything must be in writing. It has to be on that schedule. A good BRA, nobody's going to do it, but a good BRA would be if after showing you so many properties and you decide not to buy, then you're going to pay me $10,000.
That's a great one.
We're going to put that on our list of approved brokerage
Why can't you do that?
services. Why not?
I agree to reimburse 100% of my commission I get on the co-op side, provided you pay me $1,000 per hour for everything that I do for you.
Why
I'm just
not?
kidding, but that's the idea, right?
Yep.
So
Yep. Same thing with listing agreements. They want us to have all of them on file. So we know some agents broker load your own listings, so that's okay, but we need to have a copy of the signed listing agreement on file. You're gonna see it in your SkySlope checklist anyways, but not many people do. But if you do your own, you still need to submit the copy of the listing agreement so we can keep it. I got in trouble for not having 1 out of 50. Back to the BRA, there's a bubble on the first page. Reba, that bubble used to say, if you sign more than 6 months, sign here. That it was acknowledging that wasn't like a required thing. That line changed to say sign here if you're not under an existing representation agreement.
Yeah.
So it's a totally
A lot of people
different
miss that.
sentence and clause, and it does require an initial. So we were missing that first initial. It's just habits,
It's
right?
kind of
just
out of habit. If you'd known the 6-month one, you
Yeah.
probably wouldn't initial it. I had to tell someone to sign that this weekend.
what does it say now? It says I have not.
Just
I'm not-
agrees that they're not working with another agent, but they have to actually initial it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just habits because it was a totally different context before.
Same
but
exact location.
section, so we're just forgetting that bubble. They paid a lot of attention on multiple rep consent forms on both seller side and the buyer side. They didn't actually call this out, but I will call it out because I saw it. But we were still like initialing all of the bubbles on that form.
One of them will be right.
Because we just didn't know, right? They look confusing. It's a lot of words. So it's really just the first bubble we need to sign, and you can let me know when you get to there. But if you're in multiple rep, there's a seller version, a landlord version, and a tenant and a buyer version. They both need to be signed before you enter into multiple representation, and then you carry on with the rest of your paperwork. So we had those all on file. It's just that they were all, it wasn't really signed correctly. But again, they weren't super fussed about that. That was just something that I acknowledged. Otherwise, it was pretty good. That was all of the things that they said. A couple learnings for us on the trust side and on the trade side, which we're going to talk about as a team before I announce that. But the next thing will be FinTrack. So RICO does not mandate or deal with FinTrack or receipt of funds. It's a totally separate government organization. So they let us off by not looking at that stuff. We will have that audit December 2nd, I will have the review of that. We've already sent them all of the files they've asked for. So there's nothing else I can prep for. Other than that, maybe as a result of the audit, we'll have more information to share. I have a feeling they're going to talk more about the political, like the PEPs, the HIOs, and having separate paperwork for that, which we're not doing right now. So I'm suspecting some things they're going to bring up, so there'll be more information after December 2nd. We're still recommending that you use FinTracker app to FinTrack all of your clients. So we've seen an uptick in that. We've just participated in a program that will actually do your business monitoring for you. So when you submit a client ID on FinTrack, they're actually going to help me do the scrubbing and business monitoring to look for patterns in suspicious activity. So that will be good. But are you guys using that more? Has anyone tried to use it?
Have we done FinTracker yet?
I know you have because we can see it, but
I just haven't been complete.
I think I don't want to use the word mandatory. A lot of brokerages are making it mandatory, but it might be something we have to depending on the results of the audit. If the audit goes fine and we're all doing the stuff they want us to do, great. But if there's a little bit more that we have to elevate, it might be that we have to go and use the app because it does ask all the proper questions about your corporations, your articles of incorporation, your beneficial ownership, if they own 25% more of shares. It asks all the stuff that they need to, so it's a good guideline for you to make sure you're getting the right information. But let's see. Is that what you were going to talk about FinTrack-wise? Or?
Yeah, so we'll get more into FinTrack later on there. But going back to RICO, we still need all the documents, okay? Like a lot of agents will do listing agreements, or they'll even do, this is the one that bothers us, I guess, doesn't bother me.
Transaction.
They'll do a co-op sale, but not give us the paperwork until closing
Like on the
date
buyer.
sometimes.
Sometimes till after the title search date, so I don't know how they're doing title searches, but
So
And
there's
that's like,
there's so
maybe
many
they don't
things we
understand
do.
title search.
Well, there's so many things that we do. There's a title search on the offer. You don't get to put title search on that. That means the buyer's lawyer has that time to find out if there's anything on the title that they're concerned about.
Liens.
But if we don't give the lawyer the documents, then how are they going to check it? Now,
That's what it's for.
No, hopefully the agent's giving it to the lawyer themselves and not us. I mean, hopefully you're doing something like that, but we should come through us, and that's what RICO wants. RICO says, "Where's the paperwork?" Right?
yeah.
So it's by law. You have to hand in the paperwork. That's in there by law, right? That's
Yeah, they're still.
Check every single file?
Nope, I don't
They
know. They
selected.
selected files based on accounting information because they used trade numbers to pick the files. So it wasn't based on like realm or addresses. And they picked rentals, which I was surprised about too. So they're looking at everything. But it was pretty thorough. So it took some prep.
So
and-
they told me a couple weeks ago they're coming in to do the audit. That was nice because we're getting the RICO audit, we're getting the FinTrack audit, and then we get RICO audit. So I was concerned about what's going on, make sure we do things right, a little concerned, and then I realized I can steal $10 million.
I said, sorry, my DRA bubble wasn't filled out correctly.
And they're
Yeah.
worried about me initialing a bubble on a listed agreement. This guy steals $10 million.
Yeah, exactly.
So my stress went down.
Me
quite a
too.
bit.
Like, take me to jail. Yeah.
Yeah,
take me to
literally,
jail.
all this articles came out the day she had the call, and it was a
Carly was ready with that
I had all these
57-page
things
report.
written. Like, there's no way that you can compare someone as our stature to what's going on in that world. But it's crazy. Yeah,
That's wild. And now they're talking about the government taking over RICO, or is that just
So you
in
wanna
the
get into
talks?
RICO stuff now? Or
you can if you want to. Yeah. I don't know if people are as invested as we are.
You guys paying attention to iPro at all or anything else?
I'm over.
Yeah. So I think it's a
Everybody's over
broker
it
thing.
by
It's just us.
Like, man, I read that whole 60-page report in the sauna.
I did
Do you? It's interesting. I
So
don't
basically
know.
what's happening here, the Ontario government has given RICO themselves 15 days to tell them why they should still exist. And what they want to do instead, it's still going to exist, but they're going to hire a government employee to be the administrator. They're going to hire somebody else in charge of the CEO. They're going to be in charge of the board, directors, everything else. They're going to say, they're going to hire a government unless RICO can convince them not to, which I can't see them doing that. I can't see.
You can't, eh?
I can't see them doing that. I can see the Ontario government taking over. That's a huge mistake. They're blaming everything on the registrar, and they're saying the registrar was a what do they call it?
Like a power
An
type.
autocrat or like a
What was the word they used? Just that he used his power to say, I'm the registrar and everything I say goes, even though they have a board of directors and a CEO, right?
yeah. So the registrar himself decided how it's going to handle it, how he's going to do it, and he arranged everything. He had 2 or 3 opportunities to tell his boss what was going on, but he didn't bother telling his boss what was going on until after the agreement was signed not to sue anybody or not to charge anybody. So after the boss found out that he did this agreement, then the boss went in there and freezed all the accounts and blah blah blah. So that's where we're at. Yeah. So it's just.
I think you were right, though. I think he was attempting to do something out of the RICO norm, but he was attempting to protect consumer and agents' money. I think he really thought that the selling of iPro to iCloud was going to recover the funds, and that I think the idea was there, but the PR and the communication and how it went down didn't look like that, and doesn't look like that on paper either.
From what I read, somebody was prepared to give them $10 million. For iCloud was prepared to give iPro $10 million. And the $10 million would have covered up whatever they stole. But I'm sorry, but you guys can pay $10 million for a company that just lost $10 million? Anybody put up their hand who wants to buy that company?
Yeah.
Like imagine the due diligence you'd have to go through for that.
So I think what happened later on, they said, we're not paying $10 million for that, we'll give you $3 million, and I'm not sure even that happened.
That didn't even happen, and it went through a bunch of different people to try to sell it.
So he's a little naive to understand how business works. So he's very naive.
So there's two issues I see with that. One is between May and August, there was no freeze accounts. The managers were still managing, the owners were still, the money was still flowing. Nobody was auditing or taking a look at anything. And the second thing is I don't understand how RICO could have been involved in the selling and acquisition of another brokerage. That's the other shocking. That's where they say they deviated completely out of like what the RICO discipline process should have looked like.
So what everybody else is saying, what other people are saying, rather than the government, they're saying get rid of the whole board of directors, get rid of everybody, clean the house, get rid of them all. They should have known or ought to have known. And that's it.
Yeah.
And I get that all the time myself. An agent will do something bad.
Didn't you know?
And they'll come to me and I'll say, I didn't know. How am I supposed to know? And they say, well, it doesn't matter whether you know or not. You're responsible.
You're the broker of record.
Right? You're responsible. So they're all responsible. Like if they don't know or don't, they allowed this guy to make these decisions on his own. They allowed him to make that decision. Therefore, they need to take responsibility as far as I can see.
Yeah.
It's already happened in BC, where the BC gave back the self-regulation back to the government, and it also happened in Calgary, where a Remax guy was doing, did you read about that? He did $3 million in a Ponzi scheme. He was creating these fake deals and doing bridge financing and pretending these deals were done, and he'd take the money, put it in his pocket, $3 million. And then his broker got caught, because the broker he was aware of it too, somehow. Anyway, so
we're not the only province. We're actually probably behind in terms of what other governments are doing.
Yeah.
If the government does take over, does it really change our day-to-day?
It doesn't change anything. It just means that if you don't fill out Schedule A and you're going to get fined.
No.
Right?
No, because TRESA is what forms the legislation. RICO is the interpreter of that, doing that, right? So now it's going to be the government, in turn, it's the same rules and principle, but they'll have different, probably disciplinary processes and fines, and I don't know what that will look like, right? So.
Good.
That was it. So I wonder if the RICO will respond on the same day as our FinTrack audit. That will be interesting.
Two things I'm going to talk about, then Katie, you're going to talk? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. Just two more things here I just want to mention for you. We're hooked up with Zillow. But has anybody hooked up a Zillow profile? Have you guys done that? Has anybody done it? Like, when businesses are slow, now you start looking for other ways of generating business, right? So go to Zillow, set up a profile, get your name on there. This fellow here's done it from BC. We could do it here in Ontario easy enough.
Yep.
Does it get you any business? I don't know. But when you search his name, he comes up in all these different areas. So look at Zillow and see if you can go in there and sign up and do something there, right? It doesn't cost you anything. And you might get some traction out of it. Another one's called, write this down, Agent Pronto, Pronto. This is a service where, I don't know how it works, but we've done a couple of them there, right? Nelson, you remember this Agent Pronto, where somehow they'll connect the public to you, and you pay them a 33% referral fee, but you don't know this buyer from Adam. And it's not a lead gen. It's not lead gen other than somehow they put things out there. They're on the internet. The public will go into this site and ask for something, and then the company will then refer it to the local agent in that area that they're looking for.
I think we're signed up for it.
Don't know. You the agents mean, or I don't know. Agent Pronto.
Yeah. I think we have an account, but we haven't gotten anything.
So go to those two sites, set up your profile, because again, if you're trying to find different ways of doing business, here we go, right? So try those two. I'm not saying it's going to do anything, but get your name out there and do something.
Transaction report? No? Okay. I'm just going to talk about what events are coming up. There's a bunch of, I think there's about 8 of us going to Mike Ferry this week. I think it's just Susan and I in this room. I don't know if there's still a chance, but it's happening Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We do maybe have a potential for one more spot. It is a free ticket if anyone does want to take over. Someone got sick, so we do have one extra ticket if anyone wants to go to Mike Ferry. It's in Brampton, November 18th, 19th, and 20th. And I think Richard Robbins is also happening as well. I don't know, is anyone going to Richard? No, we don't. We were just talking about conferences.
It's probably Tom and Kathy.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys are going to be doing conferences soon because this is the time to be doing it. But I'll be there at the Mike Ferry one. So if you guys are going, just let me know. Next week there's not going to be any training this Wednesday. We just finished our 6 weeks of back to school for you last week. So if you haven't watched those are on YouTube. I posted, and I think I sent an email last week with all 6 weeks of it. So that's all on YouTube if you guys want to catch up on what we did for the last 6 weeks. Next week, though, we will be having Prop Tech Verify is going to do a presentation for you guys. They're the competitors, I guess, of Single Key. So they're the ones that you guys submit reports with tenants that your landlords can review. I think it's like $17 a report. They basically do a whole background scrub on the tenant. So I think they're a newer company that's kind of coming in as the competitor. But I believe it's just a webinar, so I'll send out more information on that. But that's happening next Wednesday at 11 a.m. I don't know what the date. What's next Wednesday? Wednesday the 26th. So that's what we're going to be doing next week. That's kind of all I had. I'm also looking for our next speaker. So if any of our veteran agents want to do a mastermind session like what Kathy Webster did with us, we are eyeing out some people. I already tried these 2 guys, Sandeep and Elio, but they're too shy.
Just call them right out there.
I tried. I'm still trying.
We could bring up 2 at a time.
We could do 2 at a time. So if you've had a little passion for maybe educating agents, or if you guys want to do a little mastermind session, just send me an email. It'll be on a Monday at 12 o'clock. We'll just do it here. So if you do, I might just email some of you guys just to see if anyone's interested. But if you do have a topic that you think could benefit your fellow realtors, I'm going to be looking for people that want to host a mastermind with me. And if you have topics too that you want to learn about, maybe just send it to me and I will connect you with an agent, or I'll maybe find an agent in the brokerage that's doing a really good job at that. Cool. That's all I'll do. Don't want to take too much time.
So it's 150. So if you got any listings already, they're sitting there doing nothing. Have a plan to get get some
energy.
At the very least, cancel relist.
Same price, even
Right?
$1
At
less.
the same price, or even $1 less, or something. Anything, right? So have the conversation. You're on the same side. Don't be embarrassed to talk to your clients. Make sure your clients understand that our job is to expose the property. It's their job to price it, right?
And at least talk to them every week. If you've got sellers that you are getting no action from and you're also not talking to them, they're going to be talking very negatively about you probably to their friends and family, and you don't want that.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
Good.
Cool.
Okay.
Done, done, done.
Have a good week, everybody.
Everybody, all right.
See you soon.
Be good. Oh, sorry, listings.
This week, a 3-bedroom condo in 1 Massey Square. Very nice condo. Upgraded one.
Nice.
And we'll be asking price 600.
Okay, so 600 for 3 bedrooms, Massey Square. That's one of the oldest buildings in Ontario, Toronto, I guess, for TSCC.
In 1972.
Yeah,
Wow.
but they're nice big units, so you'll probably do okay.
So just to make you see.
890.
So it's a 3-bedroom in Massey Square, right?
Yeah, 1 Massey Square.
1 Massey Square, 3-bedroom, 600 and how much?
600.
I didn't put a price yet, but 600.
Six around there. Okay, just so you know, my brother bought one of those when it was brand new. Remember number one back in the 70s, 72? $17,000.
Wow.
Did they put laundry inside of it?
You mean deposit?
No.
That was the full price.
What would 16,000 be compared to
So-
today?
I don't know.
Back then,
Facing the water.
that's crazy.
$17,000 in 72. What is it worth today?
I once,
Like, would that be equivalent to 600,000 back then?
Apparently.
That just
if
seems
it fell
wild.
for that, then yes.
Isn't that wild?
If you open the tap in the kitchen, you can.
Yeah. Nice. Well, good luck with that. We'll find someone for you.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
Okay.